Hi, I'm Seth Webster, aka Freshy Seth, and this is a Fresh Take. I want to talk to you about the concept of simple, lovable, complete. Oftentimes in software development or product delivery, we talk about minimum viable products, which was popularized by Eric Ries in his book Lean Startup. And it was geared at what is the least amount of work that you can do that's viable enough to get customer feedback to determine whether or not you want to continue forward with it. Unfortunately, the focus is usually on minimum versus viable. And I think that there's a good opportunity to move away from that concept into a concept that's a little bit more indicative of what you're trying to accomplish with a delivery in Agile development especially. And that is simple, lovable, complete deliveries. What prompted me to think about this concept was I was on LinkedIn reading an article, and I'll provide a link to that. But one of the comments in the article by a man named Jürgen Appello, I thought really hit the nail on the head. And he says, I always use this book, referring to a book by Pixar, to explain that agility is not about incremental delivery of incomplete versions to customers, which is a very common misperception in the Agile community. But agility instead is about iteratively reducing risk that you're making a product which nobody wants. And I think that's a really concise and profound way to state the purpose of Agile software delivery or Agile project delivery, is that you don't want to deliver pieces of a solution that add no value until the full value is finally delivered, because the cost of that could be way high. And instead, you should deliver something early enough to ensure that you are directionally focused on the right outcome, and that you are reducing the risk that the outcome you're producing is going to be the wrong outcome. There's a few analogies that help cover this. One that I really like a lot is about a car, like delivering a car. If the customer's need, for instance, is to get from where they live to a class at a university per se, and currently they walk, and you want to provide a solution to them, it's often the result in these design processes where you're like the car. The car is the best way for you to get from point A to point B. But if you're delivering in a way that is minimum viable, not focused appropriately on value, but just what's the least thing that you could build first, you would start with like a wheel. And then you might add chassis to the wheels. Then you might put the body on it. And then in the end, you get the engine put in. Well, every one of those deliveries gave no value to your customer who was trying to get from their house to school. And during the time frame from when they first shared their problem with you and you delivered tires to when you actually deliver the engine, they were still walking. Where instead, if you first delivered a skateboard in the same time it would have taken you to deliver the tires for the car, you deliver a skateboard. Now there's value added to that person. They are no longer walking. They are more mobile. They're able to go faster. But then there might be issues as far as their balance and being able to stay on it, or the ability to get up over curbs easily. So then you learn that in their usage of the skateboard, where the wheels are still sitting in their garage. But with the skateboard, you've learned what does and doesn't work with it. And you learn the next thing we should do is put a handle on it like a scooter, so they can get up and down curbs easier and have better balance and in that mobility. And then you find that it's great, but it's not getting them there fast enough. And they're having to take sidewalks instead of some side streets that they would like to take. So instead of jumping straight into a car, now that you're talking side streets, you know that bikes can go on roads. So you deliver them a bicycle. And now they have the ability to commute on those side streets and get there faster. A next iteration on that might be a motorcycle. And then finally, you can deliver on a car. Now, let's say the cost to deliver that car is $25,000. And you start with the wheels, which is a piece of that cost. And you don't deliver value till you get to the end of it. And then you find out the car is too much and there actually isn't even car parking available for them at the school. Or they would have to spend extra money in order to be able to park the car monthly, which is out of their budget to be able to do. Yet in pursuing the incremental approach of skateboard to scooter to bicycle, you might have found that the bicycle is actually the best solution. And instead of spending $25,000 in order to deliver a car that they end up not being able to use, you increment into it and go from a $60 to $100 skateboard to a $100 to $150 scooter to a $200 bike, and you stop there. And that's a $25,000 failed delivery versus a $200 good enough solution for this person. Then you could pivot into the market and see if there's a fit for other things like motorcycles and cars that are built off of that platform that you've already delivered value with. And so if you think of the skateboard, it's simple, it's lovable, it's complete. Now, it may not be as lovable as a car, but it's definitely simple and lovable, as opposed to the wheels, which relatively to the car is simple, but it's not lovable. Nobody loves just having wheels in their garage that are adding no value to them. So if you think of it in terms of simple, lovable, complete solutions that you're trying to deliver iteration over iteration, I hope that that will help you to then understand that you can build things that are not the whole thing, but pieces that do add value and should be providing feedback that directionally you're heading the right way. Again, as Jürgen put it, you are using agility to iteratively reduce the risk that you are delivering the wrong product. Okay, thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Follow me for more on Agile, culture, leadership, management, and self-development. Hit like on this and repost to share it for reach. Thanks.